I'm going to go over a few things that have come up over the last few weeks and talk about some new YouTube crap that's going on. And yeah, I guess I could use that. And briefly talk about a few things. There's some things that I can't really talk about. I made this video an hour and a half and then a 45-minute video right before that. And then both of those videos were deleted from my phone. I don't usually talk about that stuff because it doesn't do me any good. Nobody believes me anyways. But it's a waste of my fucking time. And I don't do these YouTube videos. I don't get paid for them. This is not a job for me. This is not an entertainment channel. I'm taking advantage of the YouTube platform to get out information to anyone that will come and look, and hoping that what it is I'm showing you, you will all go look at it. Not necessarily listen to the words that I say. The things that I'm showing all of you are things that you have to see. You have to see them for yourselves. Otherwise, taking my word on anything, that's why I really don't want to explain anything. But sometimes I have to. Sometimes I'm forced into explaining things because what happens is people come along who might be real people. They may not necessarily be an agent of the state. They may not necessarily be a purposeful liar. They may just be incidental, coincidental zombie slaves, and therefore I should not be holding them to the same regards that I do to someone that I'm 100% sure is an agent of the state in one way or another. And there are so many departments of agents of state that, that have to be a whole fucking video. So I try to stay away from anything conspiratorial. I try to stay away from, I gotta hit play, otherwise this is gonna, okay. So I try to stay away from conspiratorial shit, but sometimes I have to just talk about some things. And then what happens is a lot of people will run away. They don't want to hear what it is I'm going to explain. Okay, one of the things I noticed about YouTube that they changed in the last few days, because I'm going to be talking about this moon video right here. It's on all three of my channels, but if you go to the Michael Oziak channel, it's under September 17th, 2024. It's kind of funny how it's not numbered 1 and 2 like it usually is either. That's kind of weird. But what I noticed is just in the last couple of days is they stopped allowing me to play my videos. There used to be a thing right here, somewhere in here, right here or something that would say play all. And all I do is hit on that play all, and I'd have to be on my home page, or I'd have to, if I went on to videos, I wouldn't see it. Now I don't see it anywhere anymore. And I'm not able to play my videos all like I would normally do, because during the day, if I'm around, if I'm, even if I'm not around, I just keep it running in the background. My computer's playing my videos all day. It doesn't do anything for getting my numbers up because I'm only one person. But what it does do is it keeps my eyes on the computer on something that's important. On this other laptop I've got, mainstream conspiratorial shit, all kinds of stuff that comes up. I'm real big for the last couple of years at listening to the auditors, so I torture myself and suffer every day listening to all the people that are out there getting these crooked fucking politicians on camera doing really disgusting shit, and then I gotta watch the rest of the other half of the population go along with that disgusting shit and claim that it's okay and acceptable and a proper thing to do. And so I'm not only stuck on what it is I'm doing, but what I have to keep looking at what it is I'm showing you guys. Even though I'm the one making the videos, I still learn from watching these videos. I'm seeing new things every minute of every day that I'm watching these. That's why it's important that I play them and watch my own videos. I mean, how boring could that possibly be? You guys have never even seen these videos before, and you come to them, you watch 5 minutes and tell me that they're boring. So you can imagine for me how boring it would be if I was not really looking. If I wasn't really looking at what's here, then it would be boring. But I know it's here. And what I'm trying to show you is very, very important for all of us, for the entire 7.8 billion zombie slaves. It's so fucking important. Okay, so this thing that I want to talk about. So now that I'm not able to play my videos anymore automatically, I can't hit play all. So I'm going to show you what happens now. And this has probably been happening to a lot of people for a long time. So before, what would happen is, if when I press play over here, over on this side, this is funny because this is the first time it's showing me any of my own videos. So what's normally happening is I don't get another option. And even if I do, this is one of my videos over here, and this is one of my videos. And let's take a look down the row and see if there's any more. Here's another one of my videos, another one. This was not happening earlier today, so I'm glad to see this is happening. But my point is this. I don't have any choice but to run off into all their videos, right? And all these other videos of the moon, they're all full of shit. And I've had several people come and write in the comment section over the last few days telling me that I'm full of shit and telling me that my videos are the ones that are fake. And I'm going to show you something about what they're calling an eclipse. I'm going to give you a little bit of something to think about. And I'm going to try not to say too much about it, but I want to talk a little bit about it, because I think that might have been one of the reasons why they deleted those videos from my phone. Videos being deleted from your phone. I'm a nobody. I have a couple hundred subscribers, and they go up and down very quickly. So, to be fucking with me has always been a strange thing for YouTube to do the way they're doing this. So I'm forced to have to watch, let's say, because I can't hit play all. So I'm going to hit this one video. Maybe one more of mine will obviously play at the top, right? Obviously, this moon video will come up and play. That's great. I'm glad to see they at least offer me that. But then everything else that I'm going to hit on in here is all going to be these other conspiratorial bullshit stories. And if I go to use any of these other bullshit stories, right? Any of this shit, Stargate, let's see, live partial lunar eclipse 24. What's this one? If this video appears in your life, the entire blessing is yours, or whatever. Live partial lunar eclipse. Now, I went in and looked at some of these. Because they were already playing. That's why. So when I go in and look at these, I can pick out the fucking scams out of these so easy. And what I was saying in the last video, what they do, a lot of these videos, what they do is it's CGI, and they put a computer-generated photograph of the moon, and it is the real photograph of the moon, okay? It really is. I know that from the images that make up the moon. The true creators' images that make up the moon tell me whether they're using the correct moon or not. So to the other dude that came in on one of the other channels and said that what I'm showing you here in my videos is fake, that is so fucking ridiculous, so nonsensical. I mentioned before every video that I'm using a filter, red filter, blue filter, green filter, brown filter, all these different filters. That's for your eyes to have more contrast, to show you the imagery that the dude that said this was fake didn't even look at, didn't even notice, didn't even listen to any of my other videos that are on my channel. He came to this one video because Google obviously offered it to them. And when Google offered it to them, it popped up and they looked at it and they heard me talking and saying, what the fuck is going on? Because when I started the video, before I even started the video, I went outside after my first video that I did at night. Was going to be the only video I did at night, and I seen this at the top of the moon. Let me try this. My computer runs real fucking slow. Let me see here. It sucks. This is what I went through earlier too. Let's see if it gets bigger. And then put a pause on it. All right. Let's see if it paused. No. Okay, I'm going to come back here. The video's, this computer is really shitty computer. But I want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to hit play again. And see if I can hit play. What the CGI guys are doing is they use a photograph of the moon, put it through in front of the camera. I mean, on the computer. It's a computer photograph, and then they say that it's the moon going through the sky, all right? Some of them, not all of them, some of them actually do have real moon footage, but they're also the ones that have real moon video. They're not doing what I'm doing. I'm going, and this is why, the people that are using photos are using photos, because if I go like this, I'm not going light to light. If I'm just moving a photo through the monitor, if I was just making a CGI video, the light to light thing doesn't do me any good. Going light to light helps me tremendously to show you the true creator's energy, because in images, because what's happening is I'm cropping with the light and I'm cropping with the shadows. And that's a big help. And I need to explain that to you guys as I'm doing it. And every time I explain it, you guys are shutting me down. The people that are subscribing to my channel, the same people that if they come to me asking me questions, they're asking me questions that I have already explained in all my series. I've got 4,000 videos up throughout my 3 channels, and they got very few to no views on them. Only in the last few months have my views been picking up. And when I say picking up, I'm supposed to be ecstatic because after 8 years of making these fucking videos for everyone and talking and showing you and explaining everything that you can see, I'm supposed to be all excited because now all of a sudden I got an extra, maybe my views went up, whatever. I don't know what the average is. They went from maybe like 10 views. That wasn't even an average, really. 10 views were my highest average. Let's put it that way. Some of my highest viewed videos would get 10 to 15, maybe views or something like that. And then the highest of the highest, which is very few of them, would maybe get 20, 30 views or something along those lines. And then you have this 0.1% that get 1,000 views, which is just one out of every 700 videos or something like that. I got a couple of them on there that got a lot of views. Now that's with 100 and something subscribers. Now I'm up to 200 and something subscribers on the Michael Oziak channel, and still nobody's coming to me and saying, dude, I see it. I got it. I'm with you. I understand the cropping tools. I understand cropping with the light and cropping with the croppers. Here's some things that I'm going to tell you that you didn't even know, that I noticed myself. I don't get none of that shit. None of that. All I get is people telling me how wrong I am and asking me questions about the heliocentric model, which I know for a fact because I can see that they've lied about the heliocentric model, and I can see that it's all been a lie. I can see with my eyes that everything that we've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed about everything in this realm has been a lie. Our memory banks, our brains, and that's all they are, is a memory chip. And they're remembering all the lies. So then we live by those lies. And then when someone like myself comes along, and there might be others out there doing the same thing. I know for a fact there are other people out there doing the same thing about some lies. They'll find all the lies in law enforcement. They'll find all the lies that are revolving around the judicial system. Another one will find all the lies revolving around the monetary system in the Federal Reserve, and pointing out that it's a Ponzi scheme. Okay, but those people don't realize that even the shit they're spewing out of their mouth is also a lie. They don't realize that everything they've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed has been a lie. They just don't realize that. And I don't know that they ever will. All right. So it's very frustrating for me, I guess is my point. And I'm going to have to keep an eye on this camera and make sure that the fucking thing is doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, so when I first saw this in this moon, this was a full moon night. This was the night of a full moon a couple nights ago, whatever. It was September 17th, I think it was the date. And I stepped outside after doing one video of the full moon, and I happened to notice this in the moon. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I ran in, grabbed my camera. Now, I don't watch mainstream media. I had no idea that they were talking on the internet about any kind of eclipse happening or anything like that, right? So I go grab my camera. I'm talking during this video saying, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? What's going on with this area? So I had some suggestions over the last day or so since posting this video. This is the day before yesterday, I think it was. And yeah, because today's the 19th already. And a few people were mentioning that, thank you to any of you that were chiming in, by the way, because I appreciate you letting me know, because I wouldn't have went to mainstream media to find the information. But somebody pointed out, Rooksy, I believe it was, that pointed out that it was on mainstream that it was an eclipse that they're calling. That's what they call it, and it's an eclipse. Now, for me to have to tell you the truth and the reality of this eclipse is a whole nother fucking story. As soon as I start telling you guys all about it, you're all going to go over to these other channels that are on the right-hand side. They're having parties over there. They got millions of subscribers. Some of them have 300,000 to millions of subscribers, 1.2 million subscribers and all this shit. So all those channels that are on this side of the screen. So why are you going to stay and watch my video where I'm sounding like, oh my God, what is this? What's going on? And all, and then for the other dude to come out and say on the other channel saying that it was fake, a fake video, you can't get any more real than the fucking videos that I'm doing. This is it, man. I don't even mark on my videos. I don't put no fancy shit. September 17th, the world is over, new eclipse coming through. I don't do sensationalizing bullshit. The most I do with my wording videos to people is I'm calling people out, specific people, usually people that I like, that I say, why are they not recognizing everything that I'm showing? And then I say, okay, well, give them a chance. Maybe they just have never been provided the opportunity to see it. So I make a series to them. I provide them the opportunity to see it. Once they see it and they write into me and either say, you're a fucking nut job, whatever, okay, that's fine with me. I walk away and I stop their series and I go on to the next series. If I get no response at all, that's even worse to me. I don't care how big they are. And I don't call out people with only a couple hundred subscribers. That ain't going to do me any good. I need someone that's an entertainer, but he or she does not realize how bad it is, right? Because you got all these great people that are to call out. Medical industry over the years, I called out some really good, wonderful people that are in the medical industry. Actually, they've gotten out of the medical industry. Then you have your naturalists, your naturists, your preppers, all these different people that I've called out, news organizations and other people that I've called out over the time. And if they give me no response at all, that's even worse. I'd rather them come in and laugh and say, and the reason why they cannot do that, there's evidence for this for me. I have my evidence. The reason they can't come out and let's say Harold Kotz, right? I call out Harold Kotz. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, right? He's very infamous and famous on this earth. Physicist, I believe, is his title. He's a physicist / quantum physics expert, some shit. So why didn't he not come and say, dude, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, and easy to shut me down, right? Easy to shut me down. Dude, you're uneducated. I don't want to offend you if he wants to be nice about it, but you have no idea what you're talking about, and that's not the way the world works, right? Okay. He cannot do that. He cannot come in and do that because if any of his subscribers were to come to my videos, if hundreds of thousands or millions of people were to come to these videos that on my channels, any of my channels, especially the two good ones, the two full ones, they would see it. They'll see it all. Too many people would start seeing it. They have to limit who's coming to my channel down to people who have no influence on the programming of the human population. They cannot. And if somebody was to come along who could get this word out there, who did have hundreds of thousands of human eyes to be looking at it, they'd have to shut them down. Google, it would have to shut them down. All right, I want to talk about some of this before this video. I'm already at 20-something minutes. All right, so they're telling you that this right here on this moon video is the shadow from the Earth, right? And I got pretty detailed in the last video, so I'm going to try to explain this a little bit shorter version. First of all, come to my videos of this, right? And look right up in here. Look right up in here and see how far this shadow comes around. It actually passes the light of the moon, right? So the light of the moon. So again, everything that we are told, taught, heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed has been a lie. You have to keep that in mind. So when you see this other carbon layer coming in over here, you have to look at the shape of it when you're watching my videos, on my video, because I noticed that all these ones at the right of the screen, they're not showing you what I'm showing you. They have better telescopes than I do. They could certainly show you what it is I'm showing you. So I want you to notice the shape of this shadow and that it is not only right here. It doesn't end right here at the light and right here at the light. You can actually see the fucking shadow going like this, right? You can see the size of it. So if it really was the shadow from the Earth, number one, it would be way the fuck out here, not right here, the same size as the moon. Why? Because they tell you that the Earth is 4 times larger than the moon, which seems also really like ridiculous math, because the Earth, when you look at them side by side, and you'd have to pull it up because they tell you the moon is 243,000 miles away from us in that direction, right? In the direction that we're looking off at the moon in. Then they tell us behind us, take into account that the Earth is a 25,000 mile ball, they tell us, right? These are all lies, but this is what they tell us. And then from the backside of that Earth, from the other side of that 25,000 mile ball, you have to go to the backside to start your count. And then you're going to count that way towards the sun. How many miles? 93 million, 91.3 million, whatever the fuck, their fictitious number that works out so that when humans are smart enough to look up in the sky, and to our eyes, the moon looks like the same size as what we see as the sun. So they needed to make the math work out and put these two things in our imaginations at those distances in order for this math to work out, right? But it still doesn't work for them. Oh, I hate this fucking when that happens. What happens is that you can see with your eyes, see the curvature, you see the embezzlement of the shadow. Never mind that it's continuing off this way, because I can see this carbon layer, this carbon circle going like this, even past the light of the moon, right? So again, if it was the Earth's shadow that was supposedly 4 times larger, then that shadow should at least be out here somewhere, okay? Is my first point that I'm trying to make. The second point I'm trying to make is, look at the curvature of the shadow, especially on my videos. I'm not playing no fucking games with anybody. I have no reason to lie to you. I'm not fucking with you. I don't have nothing out on my telescope, no stain on my glass or anything. And I'm proving it to you. Why? Because I'm doing 360s with my camera on the telescope, which is something else that none of these other people, none of them, thousands and thousands of them that Google will give you on the side, all space alien people, all spacecraft wannabes, all fucking believe in the heliocentric model to the fullest, and you are not going to get they do not want you to get your mind on anything else. So they're telling us this shadow is the shadow from the Earth. So they tell us that the sun is coming from behind the Earth and lighting up this moon, which is another ridiculous story. Unless you believe that the light from the sun can bounce off the moon, reflect back down onto the Earth. Now, not only are we not seeing it throughout our own atmosphere, that light, right? Because we don't see it. We don't see the sunlight coming through the atmosphere. It's nighttime. It's dark out, other than the light bouncing off the fucking moon and back down to the Earth, right? So what, is the moon made up of a bunch of mirrors, or is the moon its own separate light? Is the moon its own separate energy that works with the energy from the sun, but yet they both have their own energy? Positive, negative, false creator / creator, dividing everything in this realm, including night and day, including sun and moon, including left, right, from back, from forward, up, from down, in, from out, all the divisions. male from female, positive from negative, if I didn't say that already, all the divisions, right? We're the great divider. The great divider is the false creator/creator. We can see it. And we can see the true creator's images all in this moon, making up this moon. This moon belongs to the false creator/creator, but just like everything else in this realm, we can see the true creator's work in the moon, what we call the moon. The moon needs to be renamed. These things that you call an eclipse need to be renamed. I'm not the guy to be renaming it, although I do a lot of times start renaming shit. But then what happens is people are wondering what the fuck I'm talking about when I'm calling this area that we've always known as the moon. Now all of a sudden I'm calling it something else, and they don't even know what the hell I'm pointing at that point, right? They don't. And then if I'm not calling this an eclipse, then you're all gonna not know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I have to point out the hypocrisy. I have to point out the lies as I'm talking about them. But if we all got together and I tried starting different processes, one was called the Homeless Patent Project, which was the name of one of my emails that I made. This was 8 years ago when I started on all this. I started what was called the Homeless Patent Project. The idea was start having homeless digitally collect the electromagnetic nanocarbon, the true creator's images from the moon. The images in the moon never change. The images in the moon, you're always seeing one side of the moon. You're never seeing, because there is no backside to the moon. The backside of the moon looks like the front of the side of the moon in reverse. That shit that they show you on the right side of the screen about the backside of the moon, they've been telling you for the last couple hundred years, is all a lie. You can prove to yourself that it's a lie. You don't need me to tell you it's all a lie. You can just go see it for yourself. Okay, back to this so-called eclipse. Okay, see the embezzlement of it? As I'm playing this video, I'm going to show you a few other things. One of them is going to be an image that I talk about when I'm making the video. If you play the sound on this September 17, 2024, this eclipse video, the so-called eclipse video, then you're going to notice that I'm talking about what I call the wizard. The image that I call the wizard I talk about. He's right here. I'm going to show you his timelines, and I'm going to show you a few other timelines when I get into it. As long as I can get through this fucking video. This camera does have pause on it, so hopefully I can use that without fucking this up. But first things first. A lot to talk about because I never talk in my videos. It's when I do get rolling, I have so much shit that I got to explain. And then it's useless anyways, too, to do this because nobody ever goes and fucking looks at what I'm showing them. All right, so back to this. See the curvature? See the roundness to it? All right? So you got to remember, they're telling you that this shadow is coming from the Earth's shadow. The same Earth that they've convinced you is 4 times larger than this moon. So, therefore, this shadow should not have any curvature to it at all when you're looking at it. Even if whether this was a ball or whether this is a disc in the sky, whether it's the wheel in the sky that keeps rolling, whatever you want to convince yourself of it is, if that fucking object that's causing this shadow is 4 times larger than this, the same way that they tell you that you live on a spinning wet pararocket ball, but yet when you look off to the horizon on the ocean, and you go to the ocean and you look off on the horizon, you can, let's pretend this line here is the horizon of the ocean, right? Hundreds of miles that way you can see, and it all looks flat. Hundreds of miles this way you can see, and it all looks flat. Hundreds of miles in front of you with your bare eyes. You don't need a telescope. You don't need none. Just with your bare eyes. The reason that, and then when you think about that, you contemplate that. Next time you stand in front of the ocean and you're looking off, you have to think about that. They have to tell you that you live on a spinning wet pararocket ball, and they have to tell you that the reason why you can see hundreds of miles in both ways being flat on water is an optical illusion. It's an optical illusion to you, and the reason why they have to convince you of that is because otherwise you would just be so fucking dumb that you might think for yourself. And if you do, you'd say, well, gee, if it's a ball and I can see hundreds of miles that way and hundreds of miles that way, I should see some kind of curvature in them hundreds of miles. And then they can't let you think that way, though, because then the next thought in your mind is going to be, well, gee, if that's the case, then why is the water not running running off onto the lands if we live on a ball? Because then you got to get into other bullshit stories that they confuse you with. Centripetal force, centrifugal force, the 1,100 mile an hour that we're spinning. The moon is 243,000 miles away from us, and it's spinning. And that's another thing. You're not able to see the back of the moon, they tell you, because what's their excuse for that one again? The reasons why you never get to see the back of the moon is because, okay, the moon's going around us twice as fast as we're spinning. So we're spinning at 1,100 and some odd, 1,195 or whatever the bullshit. All lies, all fucking lies. So we're spinning at 1,195 or something of that nature. And that's why the moon has to be going 2,400 and something to be going around us twice as fast. And that's one of the reasons why we never see the back of the moon. It's so fucking stupid I'm sorry, it's so ingenious, so intelligent. These fuckballs have convinced us in zeros and infinity. The reason why they convince you of infinity in school is because the outer space nonsense. They need to keep you in fear all of your lives. They want to keep your children and your grandchildren and generations to come, which won't really fucking be there anyway, due to the food and the water and the air that we breathe. So you're not going to go and notice, and I'm talking to you, the 7.8 billion zombie slaves who have not even come to my channel yet. I'm talking to all of us. You do not even look at the trails. You will not even look at the geoengineering projects, what they call chemtrails, what Google wants to tell you is condensation trails, what the United Nations tells you is cloud seeding, what others are going to explain to you at some point if you go and listen to them. And they're all liars and they're all fucking wrong. And the big electrical system that we live in is totally controlled by the trails that they dump out of these jets. And if you go to my channel, I've got thousands of videos showing these trails going all over the sky. And then yet I'm still denied this reality by my family, my friends, the townspeople, the people around me, people I've worked with over the years. This has been going on for 30 plus years for me, more than 30 years now that I've been doing what I used to call chemtrail chasing, which I don't chase them anymore. Oh my God, those were some days. I should reminisce about those days sometime. That's going back a long time ago. And that's what we used to do back then. We used to think that we were actually going to be able to impress upon people that you could see these trails everywhere going all different directions, and it just nobody's fucking gonna look. You can show them all damn day. And they were going all night long under different presidents too, because and I've learned why. And now I understand why. They were hiding so much shit from us, between hiding shit with the moon, dumping the heavy metals and minerals into the atmosphere, controlling, influencing weather, which also is probably getting my videos deleted. Whenever I talk about shit like this, the videos go away. So if you guys are not going to recognize even that, right? Because the geoengineering, the chemtrails, the condensation trails, whatever you want to call them, cloud seeding, the Agenda 21 projects, right? You won't even look at that, right? There's only a couple thousand of you out there that are willing to even look at that. And then you're always making you that do look at it and admit that it's happening will take it down all kinds of fantasy roads that will sound even crazier than I'm making it sound. So that's why I think that it's better that I show you all of these things rather than explain them to you. Because when I show people the cloud videos, which is 90% of all the videos on my channel are clouds, because it's easy for me, and there's many reasons why I go for the clouds. It's easier for me to impress on people between the moon, in my opinion, the true creator's imagery that makes up the moon, the true creator's imagery that is in the cloud level, and the trees, the rocks, the water, all natural things that we think of as natural things. And that's why I stick with them. I don't do anything that has what we think of as having human influence, even though all of it has human influence. You're going to see, you're going to find someday if you actually go and look. This fucking bend right here. I'm going to go in a little further before this video ends because I want to bring you in on the wizard. But the curvature of this, notice that it's about the same fucking size and the same curvature as the moon itself. And I want to point out that this same carbon layer that we can actually see, I would probably say this is the first time in the first video I've ever seen this carbon layer. I've been suspicious of this carbon layer for a long time. And only now in this video here am I finally catching it. And I'm questioning and wondering, is that why they trail around the full moon? Because they do not trail nights. They have never trailed nights. Like I was saying, only under certain presidents that they trail nighttime. But maybe it wasn't about the presidents that over the last 30 years that I noticed that. Maybe it was about this. Maybe it was the fact that we would start noticing certain things if they left the skies available for us to be doing videos of the moon. Because I've been doing videos of the moon for a long, long time. Though I've only been uploading them to YouTube for the last 8 years, I was always doing videos. I used to have a lot of stories to go with that. I had a tiny little Vivitar camera for many years that I used to use and mount that to my telescope, and I glue gun it on and put filters on it. That was before I found the True Creators work. That was before I knew anything like this. I was mostly interested in the trails at that time. And I happened to notice over the years, and anybody that watched the trails and talks about the trails will all verify that yeah, that's true. They don't. Well, what happens is around the full moon, days leading up to the full moon, days to the waning moon, to when the moon starts waning, you will notice that the trails will be going on east to west and west to east, and they will be in my southern sky. So therefore, they're staying in the route of the moon as they tell you, oh yeah, we live on a ball and the earth is spinning around and this moon's going around us. If you go look at what it is I'm showing you, you won't need me to explain nothing to you. You won't need to argue with me and tell me that I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I don't like talking about any of this shit, because no one will go look. They'll just say that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you. You're gonna make up different fucking heliocentric excuses for yourself and for yourselves, pretty much, because we don't ever want to keep blaming governments for doing all this to us, for lying to us about all this shit. This is us. This is us, the 7.8 billion zombie slaves. We sold out. And then for some reason, some thousands of years ago, we all sold out. And for some reason, we all have an instinctual fear of awakening to truth and reality. And they're just going to fucking take us all out. While we're all fucking in our comatose state, they're taking us out. It's already happening. Notice the curvature right around here, and notice the size of it and how far up it goes past this light part of the moon. You can see the moon behind this carbon layer at this point, right? The same thing that was happening with this happened with the solar eclipse. The last solar eclipse we had, where's my, I'm looking for my cropping tools. The last solar eclipse we had, there was something that I noticed. I'm glad my daughter brought home the extra glasses, right? So let's see if I can do it, which way I should do it this way, yeah. I'll just use the moon photo. This is a photograph of the moon, but I wanted to explain this about the eclipse. So if you go back to the last solar eclipse, I got the video of that solar eclipse. My daughter showed up with the glasses. I looked with my eyes and I was like, wow, you could see a lot better with these, because I was just using my filtered sunglasses and shit on my camera. And then when I seen the difference with her official eclipse glasses, I was like, oh, wow. And I taped them to my camera. And what we notice when you watch my fucking videos is that moon is coming in like this, diagonally, but still from the top. The moon comes like, pretending this is the sun. We're going to say this is the sun, right? In my hand, I'm looking at it because both sides, it shows up from both sides. I must have put one on each side. I don't know if I doubled them or what, but you could see it really good, the moon. The imagery in the moon, that is. Anyways, it's coming from the top and it comes down this way, and you watch the solar eclipse and you watch the solar eclipse and it goes like this and then it goes out, right? Now think about that, because I was the only one that thought about seeing that and thought about it. Millions and millions of people were watching it. Millions of people lined up to fucking see it with their own eyes, and nobody thought about that. Everybody that was showing the videos of the eclipse, the officials, because not the average person just does not think to do videos of it. And so they were all the official mainstream NASA officials, right? And what they were showing is a lot less drastic of a go through. They weren't showing it coming down like this, because what happens to the human psyche, what should happen to the human psyche when you see with your own eyes and when you see in your own camera, so you know no one's lying to you, that what they tell you is the moon going in front of the sun is going down like this. Right? So they have to, on their cameras, which is easy enough to do, because all you would do is turn your fucking camera this way, right? So you turn your fucking camera that way, and then I'd make that same motion, right? Because I'm going down right now. That's from top to bottom. And to you, it looks like side, just because I got my camera, right? So, I mean, this is real easy. And we should not be so easy to believe everybody else's shit. And because they taught us this in school, and because all of our leaders all went along with it and programmed us to believe in such nonsense, we have such a hard time going and looking at things for ourselves. I'm going to hit play as I'm talking about this, because I know how this video is. It takes so fucking long, and then the computer gets jammed up. So I'm hitting play because I want it to come in a little bit more, to go over this one image here that I talk about in the as I'm making the video. So there it goes. There it was going. All right, come on, bitch. It jumped, but there we go. All right, so I'm letting it come in a little bit more, and then I'm going to pause it, and then we're going to talk about something. I'm letting it go light to light, because what's happening is it's all about the lights and shadows. Seeing the true creator's work is all about the lights and shadows. So as I'm letting it come in, and it paused again on me. And what I'm doing is I'm letting it come in. I'm letting the shadows protrude more for me. I'm letting the light do the cropping for me. And I'm going to try to stop it before it starts shaking and before I reset it. Let me see. I'm wondering if I should wait till the next one. No, here we go. Maybe right about there. Let me see. No, this is better over here. All right, I'm going to come over here a little bit, and then I'm going to, yeah, that's probably better. Okay. I was going to put a filter on, but I don't know if I'm going to. We'll see what happens. I put a dark filter on the last one that I did, and it was pretty good. I got cropping tools all around me, cardboard cropping tools, just pieces of cardboard that I cut out. And these pieces of cardboard fit the timelines that are in the moon. The moon is the false creator / creator's clock. The moon is the false creator / creator's electromagnetic nanocarbon regulator. When issuing souls to the bio realm, this moon is critical. The energy from the stationary stars comes down through the moon. The stationary stars are mapped out in the moon. You can all see this with our own eyes. This is not theory. This is not theoretical. This is provable fact shit that if you want to see it, you go look at it. It's not for me to prove anything to you, because I already am doing that just by showing it to you. And you all want to keep denying it. Nothing I can fucking do about it. So I can crop from both sides, and I know where all these large timelines are, and I already know where they are for critical images that I want to work on and show you. So I noticed something new when I'm seeing this carbon layer that you're calling an eclipse, and I'm going to tell you is a carbon layer, and it's the same carbon layer that's being used when they tell you you're seeing the moon shadow, also the same carbon layer. When they're telling you that you're seeing a solar eclipse, same carbon layer. And this carbon layer, the ancients knew about it. They knew that we didn't live on a spinning whip air rocket ball. They knew that the geocentric model was a lie. They were so far beyond and above anything that the last 10,000 years is even capable of comprehending, because they just knew things for what they were. They didn't believe all the propagandist human lies. There's a timeline for this image that goes right down this way. The image is right here. His forehead is up here. Now, he is coming much more clear all up in here, and his forehead and his hairdo and everything is all being cropped out at this moment from this carbon layer. So when I bring my cropping tool up, what I'm doing is I'm changing my lights and shadows, and I'm showing him to you better. I'm giving you his face a little bit better by drawing his lights and shadows. Cropping him makes a difference, because see, this eye looks like a big patch on his eye. And on this eye, you'll notice that the shape of the eye matches the shape of the eye on this side. So if I stay out here far enough, I can get you the image that I call the wizard fairly well. You can see his nose. You can see the wart on his cheek on that side. He's got a wart on his nose on this side. I can get you his mouth. And I have not lifted the camera yet to adjust my angles and distances of perspective, which will also show you this image much more clear, just like all the images of the moon and clouds and anywhere else. You can see more clearly when you do this, right? What I also could do is I could crop him out on this side, because the wizard, the main timeline of the image that I call a wizard, his timeline is right here. So if I don't crop that side, I need to at least crop him with the light. If you notice the change in the difference of the light, if you see the shadow, see how it's darker from here, over, and then you'll see the light area right here going that way. He's the light area. All right. He's got some dark spots and shadows, and of course, giving him detail and everything like that of his image. You see his face a little better when I pull the cropper back away from his eye. And then if I go closer, you'll also pull in some different detail depending on which way I turn my cropping tool. Because now you can see his mouth down here a little bit better when I do that. Right. You see him a little better. You can see a little bit of his hairdo going on up here. And I'm purposely not taking a cropping tool on the other side, which can get confusing, because everything in the True Creator's work is collaged. And there also, of course, everything in the True Creator's work, as I always try to mention, there is no up, down, left, right, backward, forward, in or out. There is no, everything is all one in the True Creator's work. Everything, the temperature, sizes, measurements, everything is all one in the True Creator's work. There is no division. So when we see this image as the wizard, the image of Christ, right? Because he's actually over here too. The image of Jesus, the image that we know of as the image of Jesus, which is all a bunch of religious shit, bullshit stories as well. When I bring this cropper out, I'll do a bunch of shit, and let's give you a big one using the same area. Okay, so I'm gonna leave my cropper at the top, right around here. And I'm going to bring the bottom of the cropper down to about here to give you this really, really big image. I'm going to open it up to about, there we go. So now you're seeing part of his head. You're seeing eye, nose, mouth, but you can also take the larger image. See all this mouth area down here? Use these two eyes, this eye and this eye, and use all of this. He looks like that would be the image of the giant, the image of the giant that we know from the cartoons and shit like that, the big, large ones. And it's really let me see if I can do this. Cropping tools that fit timelines. These timelines on this side that I want to use are going in the opposite direction. There he is. That are going in the opposite direction. That's why I changed it. I don't want to use this timeline on this side, because you can see the way the timelines are shaped. I want to come down as close as I can to it in order to give you all these different images. Here's the man on the moon, right, that they tell us about. And they don't give us nearly as much as I give you as far as the man on the moon goes. Image within image and within image, from the veil to the ground, it is this way. Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, over and over from the veil to the ground. So now I'm going to take away a lot of the wizard. I'm going to get the wizard out. There's the wizard again, right there. Brink. See him? Now, I was talking more earlier about some things that I've just noticed. I just learned them just in the last couple of days by finding this eclipse. This is why they fucking trail the shit out of the night sky around the full moon. Because if someone like me, and I'm sure there's others out there just like me that are seeing all this and they're too afraid to talk about it, I fucking know it. I know it because I use the True Creator's energy all the time. I use the True Creator's energy to communicate with all of you. And I know that you are out there, but you're just too afraid to fucking say anything. You'll be disowned, you'll be banned from society. So I'm coming this way because you have to tilt your head to the left to see him, right? So I'm going to put the cropping tool down near his timeline so you can see him a little bit better. But I pointed out in the last one, and I will again once I take the camera off the tripod and start moving him around a little bit. It's interesting because inanimate objects, so I'll point this out. It looks like this and this are eyeglass lenses, and you can even see the frame for eyeglasses going back this way on that image. And I just want to explain that any inanimate objects are kind of the same thing as it's just us seeing what we want to see, because there are angles and distances of perspective where these so-called glasses, lenses, and glasses all have different uses, and some of them being eyes, mouths, and for other images and stuff like that. But when you see them like that, all black, right, and then you see a little trail going down that way, and plus you can see the face. So, and one of the faces is the image that they tell you about. The only image in the moon that they tell you about is the man in the moon, but they don't give them to you the way that I'm about to give them to you. I hear. Now I can move my cropper down this way and stretch that eye, and the face gets bigger and the pupil ends up here rather than here. If I go like this, I can move that pupil. Now, mind you, both of these sets of eyes that I'm going to take you in on this one, his mouth's down here. Another inanimate object with a smoking device sticking out of his mouth. I'll show it to you later at another angle, probably on another video. But when I come up here and tighten his face, you'll see the pupil are down here. And it kind of has the appearance of having some glasses up on his forehead when I'm doing this, right? Then I come down a little bit further and his eye will open up using the same pupil in that right eye. And then I come down even further and I can get the whole face to open up and the pupil ends up being here. So all these areas have different uses for them, all different angles and distances of perspective. You will see them better. Look how good you can see because I dropped the camera down, I changed my lights and shadows. So the wizard is going to show up to you a little better now. See him in there? See him in there? Eye, nose, pointy nose, mouth right here. See him? See him now? Get more of his face. You can open him up so you can get more of his face. There you go. And that's all doing that without me even moving the fucking camera. Because if I take the camera in my hand, if I was in the mood to, which I'm really not in the mood to. I had a fucking aggravating day with these videos, man. I'm pissed off when every time I read the comment section. I get fucking pissed off every time I get ranked out by somebody, which really shouldn't even bother me. It shouldn't even affect me at all, but it still does for some reason. The wizard. So something I noticed about up here with the wizard, when he was coming in at this angle over here, what I noticed was something that I guess I was always suspicious of anyways. Some of these images were coming in more clearly for me, even for me. I guess I could go try to find it. Let's see. Come on, slow ass bitch. I might have to pause it. Oh my God, it's so fucking slow. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm going to pause it because this is too fucking slow. This is going to ruin the video on me. What am I at? 54 minutes. I'm already at an hour almost. So, Yeah, it was right around here. Yeah. So I'm going to come to here. And I'm not going to press play. I'm going to leave it on pause. But I need it to fucking move. Now what? No, I didn't. That's too much. Back here somewhere. Yeah, I guess I could do it there. All right. I guess I could do it here. All right, so what happens is, as the moon's going around in a clockwise rotation, every time they tell you that you have the moon shadow, which is the regular moon cycles, right? Waxing and waning of the moon. What's happening, and I can guarantee you, I can prove it to you, I can show it to you every fucking day that I'm videoing the moon. I've got many, many hundreds of videos of the moon. So I can easily show this part to you. But what I just learned is something else that I'm going to soon be able to show you. A different type of cropping that crops from another direction in these what we have been calling eclipses all the time. And I was very curious about these. These are the smaller timelines. They're not the large timelines. Like, for example, if I had a full moon right here, the what they tell you is the moon shadow would come in and it crops these fucking images. I'm doing it right now with my cropping tool. I'm cropping certain images on these large timelines. And if you watch the waxing and waning moon, you will notice, like, here's this big, huge face that takes up the moon. It goes canine to human to beast. It bounces around, but all right, so you got an eye here. My stick's a little shaky because I'm far away from it. And his nose is right here. And concentrate on that one for a minute and let me mess with him. Now, this is obviously the wrong timeline, right? This would be somewhere in this vicinity for a timeline. It goes in the opposite direction. Watch when I'm pulling the lights and shadows back and forth with me, right? And then you'll see the image more clearly. I can also change my angles and distances of perspective. I can drop down my camera, and that's the reason I was explaining in an earlier video that the table that my monitor is in is on a chain, an adjustable chain, so I can bring it back and forth so I can do exactly what it is I'm showing you right now. So I can bring my lights and shadows back and forth in. But now look what that side's doing now. That right there, that is what we're told is the shadow from the earth, the eclipse. We're told that is the shadow from the earth. So because I've never catch these eclipses this well coming in and out, because usually they got me trailed in, not clouds, not clouded in, trailed in. They fucking trail them in. You all still call them clouds. That's ridiculous. That's nonsensical. That shows me how intelligent we all have been, super smartened up by the fucking education system in this country and on this earth for that matter. And we're all fucking so nonsensical we can't see what's right in front of us. So now I have more timelines. Now, of course, if I could have caught every night of this eclipse, that would tell me even more about the clock as I'm working on figuring out this clock. And this is even helping me out tremendously helping me out. Because what's going to happen is when I come in to digitally collect the EMNC now and I come in to look at these faces, I see which ones are cropped out by this particular night on this particular day. And our months have been a lie. Our days have been a lie. They use 0 and infinity in our, look how fucking good this one is. So look at the eye here, right? The eye here, the nose here, and the large mouth here. Now, I usually have a hard time having to crop 3 different directions for you guys in order to show you this, because a lot of times I'll have to use my camera and I have to go like this. But what that does is it throws you off, because then your eyes are seeing other shit over here and it throws your eyes off. So I'm really better off cropping on the opposite side like this to show you that image. And then when I bring my camera down, I can get you the right angles and distances of perspective. So here we have an image that is never ever cropped here that I ever get to witness or see. I get these timelines. I know all my timelines that I get to see during the process of what we call moon shadowing, moon cycles. Every one of these moon cycles, if we were not lying to ourselves about them and we were looking at them, we would all get to know all of these timelines that are coming through. I mentioned in another video that nobody pays attention to. The Sea of Tranquility has a burst in it. All those large lines that come out, which, you know, I just point at some of them while I'm here. Hold on, I gotta get this fucking thing. See this large line that comes down this way, runs right through the center of the face of this large face. Oh, by the way, this one comes in real good on this video too. There's one over here that's looking off in that direction, which I usually have a hard time getting other people to see it, but I saw it so clearly during this video. I think it's a little later in the video, that there's no way, there's going to be no mistaking it, and it's going to be pretty incredible. I like these ones around here myself. I like all of it myself, actually, because you're learning new shit. You're learning something new and learning reality. Like, there really is nothing better. And it's for everybody. I don't care if you're poor, you're wealthy, it doesn't really matter. If you want to see this all, you can all see it. You have a right to. This image here that I was pointing out before, when I stick my finger and I blur everything out, eye, nose here, mouth here, tongue sticking out, right? So he gets a little bit of cropping way up here in his afro. Now I'm going to turn the camera a little bit this way. You can still see him in the background. You can see him, but you can see these large timelines. Some of the timelines come up and they appear because this dark area stops. It's not, because look, it goes up. It goes this way, it goes that way, and it cuts him down this way. But that happens everywhere. I started noticing. I was noticing that in the lightning 7 years ago. I was noticing that happening. That's one of the ways I found the builders, the triangular builders, was looking at all this shit. And then when I noticed it in the lightning, and where else did I notice? And I was seeing the builders in the cloud level as well. But then once I started seeing it all in the moon too, then it started becoming more and more apparent that what I was seeing here was the work of the true creator. The true creator's work has no divisions in it. It's all one from the veil to the ground. It's all one. And within that true creator's build, another entity that we call the false creator / creator is what I call him, and he built a whole nother bio build. In his bio build, he used feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, the images he had stole, the images that he had divided himself from. It was, everything was division in the false creator / creator's build. And the true creator's work, everything is all one. So when I tell you feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, that's not the way the true creator sees it, but that is the way the false creator / creator sees it. And that's the way he did his build, or she, or however you want to word it. Okay, all these things are provable. So here we go. So what I noticed about this, getting onto this eclipse, were some of these other images that I'm now going to be able to get at least out of this one timeline. I'm going to, because I haven't done it yet, I still have to go and look. I need to find this timeline that this shadow, they're calling it shadow, it's a carbon layer. This carbon layer is cutting out the same way that I did with all these other ones over the years, which I've done a lot of videos on them, showing you guys and pointing them out. And the way that I usually point them out is with the cropping tool, because what I'll do is I'll go to these videos that are all over my channel, half moons, quarter moons, and everything. I mean, I wish I had time. I'm just not an entertainer. If I had time to do it now and I wanted to aggravate myself, but already today, I've already had 2 failures with uploading a couple hours worth of videos that all got deleted from my phone. They don't even make it up to YouTube. They get fucking deleted. And then, I mean, all day long, as I'm watching my cameras in the yard and in the moon when I'm out there doing the videos, I'm losing other things in my life for no reason, because there's no appreciation for it. Nobody fucking cares. All I get is a bunch of shit for it. All I get is being accused of being wrong, right? What am I wrong about? I'm showing it to you. You can all go fucking look. So how can I be wrong? I'm showing it to you. So are you accusing me of being wrong about the words that are coming out of my mouth? Okay. You want to prove that to me? Okay, but why should I have to prove it to you when I'm already doing that? I'm showing it to you. The only reason I'm even giving verbal explanation for what you can obviously see for yourselves is because you're demanding it. There are groups out there, people that come in and they'll demand and say, oh, you don't do any explanation in your videos. It's so stupid. I mean, what are you showing us? A bunch of clouds? Big fucking deal. And just like the other dude that came in a few weeks ago and was talking about cloud art. Oh, your videos are cool. I like the cloud art that you're doing. I get offended by that because I think that they're fucking with me. I think that they're agents when they say shit like that. Maybe he's not. I get a really strong instinct that those people that say shit like that to someone like me are agents because I'm guessing that they went and watched some of my fucking videos, but they don't. They usually didn't. They usually watch 5 minutes of one cloud video, and then they come in and say, "Oh, cloud art, awesome!" Because I got a red filter on it, or a blue filter, or a green filter, and a brown filter, or I'm doubling filters and coming up with new colors. No. I'm doing that purposely with the filters and the colors for all of you. My eyes don't need the contrast. I have enough. I can see it all black and white. I can see it all everywhere. I have no issue with it. I'm doing that for you because what I've noticed over the last few months, for like 3 months now, I've had an uptick in my views and my subscribers. And I would say it's a large percentage of an increase, but still, it's not the 300,000 subscribers that I'm seeing with all the people who go along on the right side of the screen with the heliocentric bullshit stories, or it's not the tens of thousands of millions of subscribers and views I get if I'm talking about any bullshit story for that matter. But I'll stay away from politics and I'll stay away from shit like that, but just let's see, fake ass space launches, SpaceX nonsense, right? I mean, it's just so many things that I could be doing to call out SpaceX, Elon Musk, NASA, bunch of fucking liars, and it's easy to prove that they're all liars. But I don't want to be out there fucking arguing with everybody about it all because it's going to take all my time, and then I'm not able to do what I'm doing here, which is show you the reality of it. Not only that, but show you that you can go see it all for yourself. I'm not the evidence. I'm not giving you the evidence. I'm telling you how you can go see the evidence for yourself. So we know now with this eclipse, liars, such liars. With that eclipse, we know that we're cutting off the hairdo at the top of the wizard, right? Because here's the wizard's eye, nose, mouth. And when I bring you in on the other videos, what you're going to notice is he's got his, you can still see a little bit of his forehead, but now, whatever the timeline that this shadow is falling on, this carbon layer, whatever shadows that those laying on, is going to be another timeline. And we should all be marking these timelines. The same way that I'm telling you we should be marking the timelines that they tell you are the moon shadow. They're telling you this is the earth shadow, they're liars. These are going to all fall on timelines that mean something to the human population. And we keep choosing to ignore it. I forgot to turn that fucking thing down. That might be a reason why I'm getting deleted too. And copyright strikes and everything else, the scanner. I noticed that last year. I noticed that the scanner was giving me copyright strikes. All right. I don't know what I'm at for time. I want to just think about this for a minute and see if I explain as much as I can. So, as I continue doing these moon videos, and I am going to continue with them, they seem to be having some kind of an impact on a lot of heliocentrics, and they all seem to want to come in and argue with me. And then if they don't give me the satisfaction, if I don't give them the satisfaction of arguing with them, then they just leave. They just bail out. And that is worrisome to me because the agents don't usually bail out. That tells me that they're probably real people that are bailing. They're probably real people that have been suckered into all the fucking lies and they go along with all the lies. But deep down, deep down, you guys all have to know, instinctually, you all have to know because you all have a soul. The soul was issued through this moon. And your souls were issued through this moon by the false creator / creator. That's the false creator / creator is the creator of the bio realm. The true creator's energy, we also could all be using. The true creator's energy is being influenced and manipulated on a daily basis by a small group of humans, and then the 7.8 billion zombie slaves, they all allow it. We all allow it. We pretend to be educated. We pretend to go along with all this shit. But deep down, we all know we're lying to ourselves. We know we're lying to each other. We know we're lying to our children, and our children and our grandchildren are not going to be here for the future. It's going to be a start over, and it's not going to be our decision to start over and start over in a utopia. No. They're slowly over the last couple hundred years taking us all the fuck out. It's brought us all around in their new world order bullshit, and now they're ready to take us all out again in a lot of different ways. And maybe part of that is there's going to be a real, true, great awakening that we've been being warned about. Maybe the things that I'm showing you are part of the true awakening. And I have to stay so calm about it because all these little details that keep coming into play, it's like they're being fed to me slowly enough for me to understand them and think about them. Because if I would have been showing this what you call an eclipse, if I would have been showing that 8 years ago, I wouldn't have known what the fuck to do with it. It would have been in my memory, though, that I saw something and it rose interest and things like that. But it's just same way that I was looking at the timelines in the moon and not even realizing that they were timelines at first. I knew that they were cropping out the images. I knew that not cropping, but I knew they were cutting the images all the way around. Every little image, every image in the moon has lines around it. Triangular builders building everything in this realm. And I could see all that. But I did not know that they were timelines. And I did not have an appreciation. Then even when I got an appreciation for the large timeline, shut the fuck up, you fucking scammer. These fucking cops have been raping the shit out of everybody in this fucking, going through this fucking town all day long. They must have done 50 arrests today. I swear to you, they must have done at least 50 arrests. They're pulling people over everywhere, fucking hijacking the fucking citizens, and the citizens love them for it. Yes, protect us by fucking, oh my God, towed at least 10, 15 cars today for people, who the fuck knows, bad inspection sticker, fucking invalid driving of some kind, some bullshit fucking infractions that they fucking railroad us on. Anyways, back to this. So I did not know that. So what I wanted to point out to you is that you have the Sea of Tranquility. You have the burst in there with the timelines coming out of it. I got turned on to that. I got into an argument with a dude named Wolfie, and I told him, because I was calling them timelines before I even knew that they were timelines. And then once he started arguing with me, it set me off, and I went and started looking more closely. And I was like, you know what? That's exactly what these are. So I was calling them timelines before I knew. But then once I did find them, I also stayed away from them for a long time because I was fearful. I had too much information coming to me all at once, and I just couldn't handle it. And it was several months at least later, maybe possibly up to a year later, before I finally really looked into them real deep, real hard. And when I did, what I noticed was I was finding the lakes of tranquility, the ponds of tranquility, and the puddles of tranquility, along with figuring out the Sea of Tranquility. So, of course, this is me naming these things, but now I understand them. Each one of those bursts have timelines coming out of them. Now I begin to understand where tens of thousands of years ago, the people that were looking at the stars, because the stars are mapped out in the moon, they didn't have to look out into space to look at the stars. They didn't have to, because they knew that the stars were mapped out in the fucking moon. So all you had to do is look at this bright clock that the fucking true creator shows all of the imagery in, right? to set out the basis for the clock. We know that the false creator/creator uses this moon as a clock, and it's his build that allows us to see this ball of light that you want to call a ball, which is not a fucking ball. It's a clock. It works just like a clock. We just have to figure out what lines work what hands. We need to figure out which little bursts the false creator/creator intends us to read for the years, for the days, for the months, for the seconds, all this, okay? Now, another complicated thing that goes with that is because we're human lying machines and we do nothing but lie to each other and lie to ourselves, we have put 0 and infinity in our fucking math. So what do you think that's going to do now? What do you think that does for all science, all math, all anything that we do, right? Temperature, no, you can't have zeros in your temperatures anymore. Otherwise, it's not based on reality. What is that going to do for the clock, right? If you don't have 10 in the clock, well, nothing. I've done videos on it before. It's not a big deal. We go back to the 1 through 9 clock. The 1 through 9 clock works fine. What do we do with the months of the year? Do we do 1 through 9 months, or do we do 1 through 13 months and take out the 10? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. What are we going to do with the months in order to get rid of the zeros? What do we have to do to the clock in order to, what do we have to change on the gears of a clock in order to take out the zeros out of seconds? Because there's going to be no more 60 seconds. None of those numbers with a 0 are going to exist anymore. They were not real. They never were. It was all fake. It was all phony. Where did it start? Did it start with the Romans? Did it start with the Greeks? Did it start with the Peruvians? Who the fuck was the big, brilliant, bright guy to make up the bullshit stories about the 0 and bring 0 into our heads and into our math, right? And then the original bringers of such nonsense, they were not the ones. It took probably hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years before we really got carried away with the zeros, because it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and more zeros were infiltrated throughout the system. And now to the point where we are today, where internet and computers are 010001100001000010. More fucking zeros in a big way, right? Everything was a fucking lie. Everything we've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed has been a lie. I'm offering you the reality of it all. I'm offering you the truth to see it all. And you're all denying me. You're telling me, no. Telling me I'm wrong. Ranking me out. Not even going and looking at what I'm talking about. Ask me for explanation when I do finally explain things rather than show it to you. I give you explanation, and what I get feedback on is that's not good enough. That doesn't work for me. You're full of shit. Right? What the fuck, man? What the hell is this canine? What nationality is this canine? What breed? He is a canine, at least at this angle. He has a really good timeline. The timeline is right here. He's a good, good face. There are directions to get his pupils a little better, but this is an image that a lot of people do see, and they're afraid to talk about it when they see it. I've had other people that I've done series with point out and talk about this canine. And there's another couple other canines too that they like to bring up and talk about. I'm not even at the right angle and distance for him either, but I just figured I'd ask. I just figured I'd mention it. I think he goes human when I changed to there. Let's see. Yeah, he does. So he loses the top and he goes human there. The mouth goes human, nose goes human, everything goes human. So his angle is going to be over here somewhere, because I'm going to want to pull in the top of his head and in the side of his hairdo and shit. Anyways, I'm getting lost in thought. I was really just twisting the camera so I could go in on the wizard while I'm talking. because the wizard is being cropped on the top of his head, which on the top of his forehead, which is not, his hairdo is gone. The top of his hairdo is gone. This is a fucking timeline right here. There's timelines in here that this shadow is falling on in order for us to know something. We're supposed to see all of this. No one is going and looking. No one is fucking seeing it because we're all refusing to look. Look at the fucking page. It's better and better every fucking time. So right here, I'm at an angle right now where this pupil starting to peek through that dark area for that large face. That pupil's starting to peek through. If I wanted to crop, because I just happened to come across his angle, that's all, for that pupil to show. So if I want to crop him, I'm going to keep my cropper way back here. There you go. And notice the colors all stay the same, all the way down here to his double chin and everything like that, to be using that same face, the same eyes as the wizard, but he opens up to another human face. And when I say the wizard, I mean the image of a wizard. I don't think there's really a wizard in the moon. I know there's not really a wizard in the moon. These are all the true creator's images. Feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. But I have to put some names on them so that when I keep going back to them, people will know what I'm referring to. I talked a lot about this one earlier too, about this image over here, and cropped them in and out and everything, but I'm not going to have time. And I think I would need to put the filter on him in order to give you all of his hairdos and everything. He's really good too. All nationalities, all races, all colors, all fucking everybody should be interested in this. So yeah, this one here with this fucking eclipse bullshit, this is the one that I think you are all going to be able to see better than I would normally be able to show it to you. And that is the typical way of the timelines. That is the typical way. So what I'm going to do is when I make some other videos, what I'll do is I'm going to use this video here for its timeline, right? And then I'm going to go to the previous video, which is a full moon video that I took only an hour before I took this video right here with this carbon layer in here that you're calling an eclipse, an earth shadow. And we'll be able to pinpoint it, and I'll show you exactly. So here's some body imagery. Yeah, should I get into it? No, I shouldn't. There's just so much. There's just so much that you can all see for yourself. You don't need me to show it to you. I'm pointing out certain things to try to help you. I'm talking about certain things. I'm showing you some of the timelines. I'm showing you where to crop. I don't know what to tell everybody. I mean, it fucking sucks. I mean, we're so far out of time, it's ridiculous. Everything around us is collapsing. I've been telling you guys for the last 8 years, and we've had 8 years of me showing all this to you guys. Once you go and look at what it is I'm showing you, then it's no longer a question that everything you've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, program being a lie will no longer be a question. It'll be a fact, a reality. Then we can deal with that reality. Yes, it's going to be hard at first, and you're going to think it's such a big deal, but it's nowhere near as big of a deal as ignoring it all and keep going along with it and keep pretending that you're a good dumbed down zombie slave, because it ain't gonna do you no good. Keep being a dumbed down zombie slave like we're all doing is not gonna do us any good. So if you think that, if you're afraid and there's a huge fear factor for you, and that's the reason you're refusing to go look at what I'm showing you, don't think that that's going to get you off the hook. It's not. It does not get you off the hook. Your family is still going to suffer. Your loved ones are still going to suffer. We all live in the true creator's energy as one. So if you fuck us all, then you fuck us all. It's not going to be, you're just going to fuck them over there. It's not going to be only the elite and people who are government related. They're going to be the ones to regret not looking at reality. No, it will be all of us. All of us. All for one and one for all. I never ask you guys to like my videos. I never ask you to share my videos. I never fall into the YouTube traps of any of the bullshit that you guys all just fall over, you know? Yeah, like it, share it, subscribe it. And okay, I understand, that you're making money and shit out there doing this stuff. Or okay, then I can understand it, because the more people that are watching or something, I guess, then the better it is, whatever. All the drama in the titles, every fucking where I look, man, it's also all melodramatic bullshit story. Melodramatics describing lies that everybody fumbles over and fawns over, I guess is the word I'm looking for. You got one fucking month, everybody I run into is telling me, oh man, you hear about the Trump assassination? Oh my God. Are you talking about the hoax? Hoax? No, man, they fucking shot him, man. They shot him. No, they did not fucking shoot him. What are you talking about? They shot him. Yeah, you didn't hear? You didn't hear? I heard. I'm just waiting for you to explain to me, where do you get off claiming that they shot him? And I'm just fucking with everybody because I can see it on the front page of every paper. Every channel you turn on, it's fucking front center about how Trump got attempted assassination and Trump lost his ear, got blown off by the fucking sniper, and it's all lies. They're all so full of shit. So I fuck with people a little bit and I say, okay, well, can we get the story factual? So you're saying that he's dead then? No, it was attempted assassination. Oh, okay. So where did they shoot him? They shot him in the heart? Where did they shoot him? In the leg? No, his ear. They shot his ear. Oh, really? Because I just saw him on the news, and he had a Band-Aid on his ear. They didn't say nothing about him losing his ear. Well, no, he didn't lose his ear. He just got shot in his ear. Are you thinking about what the fuck you're saying, people? Are you thinking about what you're saying? So we're going to keep going down. We got to get the story down, right? So then I'll go and then I say, okay, so what do you mean? He got nicked? A bullet nicked his ear? Or a bullet nicked his head? I mean, what are you saying? And they were aiming for his head, and they just was such a bad shot that they nicked his ear. And yeah, the kid had a scope on his fucking thing, and he's an expert shooter and all this. Well, obviously not. Something must have been off if they nicked his ear. And then days go by, still hearing the same story, different people, same people, all different people saying the same shit. And I play that same game with them. But then 7 days later, Trump's on stage with no Band-Aid on his ear. His ear is not red. It's not swollen. It's not nothing. So then what is their answer to that? Oh, yeah, man, there's fucking surgeons today, man. They can do amazing work. Why? Why do you jump to that conclusion for these liars? You want to be lied to. You want to be part of these lies, obviously, because otherwise you would not be making up one fucking stupid shit after another. And I could say the same thing about, before I even end the Trump one, now he supposedly just had another attempted assassination. And everybody's coming up to me telling me about it. Oh, dude, you hear about it? No, I didn't hear about it. Tell me about it. And they go on to tell me about this other attempt, second assassination. Now they're on a third one. I believe they're on a third one now. So they tell me about the second one, though. And then as they're telling me about it, I'm like, so wait a minute. How is that an attempted assassination? So the Secret Service seen somebody in the crowd, and they knew that he was a troublemaker, and they shot him or arrested him or whatever they did to get him out of there. And the story is that he spreaded rumors on the internet that he was going to do something, but yeah, he never did. Then why don't you just call it that? Why do you have to make up bullshit stories and go along with all these stories on the front page of the papers and say, oh, a second assassination attempt on Trump? No, there was nothing like that. I mean, it's fucking stupid. And then now we're on a third one. But it doesn't just end there. It ends with it doesn't end anywhere, actually. It just goes on and on. The fucking lies are never ending, man. They're not infinite. obviously, but they just seem to go on forever. Biden. We knew Biden was fucking senile when we hired him for the job. We knew Biden was senile all along. The fact that he got more and more senile as he was going along, it all has to be questioned, because all they have to really do is give him a pep pill and they could put him on his game. They purposely had him tripping around and fumbling and mumbling around. They purposely putting him out on the stage when he was in his worst condition. We had other presidents that were old fucks like Biden, and if they wanted them to be on top and look on top, they just get them ready to go on top. Reagan was a good example of that. And then Reagan did the whole fake assassination shit too. Oh, attempted assassination. And matter of fact, Reagan's the one that started under his lion ass space defense system to do this. Space defense system was your chemtrails. That was the start of your chemtrails. That's how long back that goes. And then you'll notice that they started trailing the skies. That's how they put the heavy metals and minerals up into the atmosphere ever since Reagan. Before that, we had the Industrial Revolution in our country and in other countries, in Germany and a lot of Europe and a lot of countries. Now today, you only have, again, our Industrial Revolution is done. So we have to use jets now to control the weather, manipulate the weather, and everyone ignores it. We pretend it's not happening. We all know that's just Keanu Reeves on his jet flying to California, and that one over there is just a jet landing over here. No. There are not even any fucking pilots in those jets that are doing the trails, people. Those are drones. Those are automated pilots, drones. There's no pilots in those fucking jets. They all fly the same altitude. They have their own airspace. They throw the trails in all different fucking directions. You can see the cloud seeding program. You can see it all. You can aluminum, strontium, barium, lithium oxide carbons with a whole list of hundreds of other heavy metals and minerals that they put into different mixtures depending on if they want hurricanes, tornadoes, droughts, you name it, they can give it to you. They want heavy lightning storms. It's an electrical system that we live in. It's not an outer space. We don't live in outer fucking space like they convince you of. We live in an electrical system, and it's very tunable. The humans have complete control of it, but yet we ignore it. We leave it to the couple thousand at the very top, and we all pretend that we're so fucking intelligent that we don't understand reality. We can only go by the lies that we've learned and we're taught in school. We have no right to look beyond what they tell us. We have no right to fucking look at reality and see things for what they are. No. We got to go with the fucking bullshit stories. Why? I don't know, because we eat better if we go with them. We have more money, as if these things mean anything. Everything was a fucking lie. This is why I don't talk in my videos, because I get disgusted and it sucks. I'd rather have fun. I'd rather turn on some fucking music, some Christian music, go looking around, cropping videos, not having to explain anything. Let you all see it for yourself and you'll understand it. You don't need the words coming out of my mouth to tell you that everything you've ever heard, learned, thought, taught, programmed has been a lie. You don't need it. You already know it. Your only reason for denying it is because you're afraid that you're going to lose what you have. But don't be afraid of that, because we don't have what we think we have. It was all a lie. You think you own your home? You don't. You don't. Go look at your deed. Look at your fucking title to your home. You do not own it. The government owns your home. They're not even supposed to own property. But yet if you get behind on paying what they tell you are your fees that you have to pay on it, which they go up randomly, they all of a sudden told all Americans were told this past 3 years that, hey, your house property values are getting way up there. They're going up and up and up. Good for you. Look at you great Americans. Your home values are going up. And Americans are all proud of themselves. Yeah, my house went up $150,000 value over the last 5 years. Well, don't you think that's a little strange? No, they don't think it's strange at all. Not until the tax man fucking knocks at the door and says, hey, your property value went up 40%. So therefore, we got to tax you on your actual property value. Sorry. They don't say sorry, but they come in and tell you that. So now everybody I fucking know in the last 6 months or so is all coming to me one at a time, all over the place talking about it. Yes, that was the fucking plan. All the insurance companies, all fucking, you think it's any mistake? You guys all pretend that it's a mistake that all the stores are shutting down, right? Oh, it was because of COVID. Yeah, it was because of COVID. Yeah, the Lyme Mama 19 virus is what got it started. But we all knew that that's what that was all about. It was to shut us all down. Instead of 30 organizations, instead of 30 conglomerates owning everything in the United States, no, we don't want that. We want it to be down to 5, and we want it to even be down to 1 organization that owns everything. You will own nothing and be happy. That's been going on for fucking hundreds of years already. But yet everyone's worried that when what's his name came out and said that, they all fucking say that. Bill Gates, fucking, they all say it. Even the ones that claim that they would never say something like that, Elon Musk, he says the same shit. He just says it in a different way. And then all of us pretend, no way, man. No way. That would never fucking happen. We're not going to own nothing and be happy. We're free. We're free Germans. We're free Italians. We're free Americans. We're free Canadians. Fuck you all, man. You ain't free from shit, man. Bullshit. You've enslaved yourselves. Your parents, your grandparents, your great ancestors have all enslaved us. And here we're stuck in it, and we're not going to wake up and go change it. We're not going to all go wake up and see what's right in front of our fucking own eyes and go look at this and fix it and change it. No, we're going to send our kids and our grandkids down the same fucking road, the road to nowhere. And then, oh no, son, you're gonna have it so good. Oh my fucking God, man. Get off your fucking dead, lazy asses and fucking do something. All you gotta do is look. All you gotta do is look and then show it to everyone else. Look at it, do your videos, and do just the same thing I'm doing. You want to be an entertainer and make an entertainment out of it? Go for it. Go for it. At least you'll be doing something to show the reality. You already own nothing and you will be happy. You think you own your lawnmower. You think you own your weed whackers and shit. No. The Weed Eater company, whoever the name brand on your weed eater, that's who owns your fucking shit. Craftsman owns your lawnmower. Or you think that you have titles to your cars and motorcycles. No, you have a duplicate title. You have a copy of a title. You don't own the fucking vehicle. Ford Motor Company owns it. Toyota Motor Company owns your vehicle. GM, General Motors, owns your vehicle. They own it. And they will always own it. You don't even come close to owning it, because even after they own it, then the bank has more rights to it than you do. But yet you're paying the bank for this car from Ford Motor Company, let's say, and yet you're convinced yourself and all your family that if they save their money and they pay their fucking taxes and they work real hard and they'll get all these things, that they can collect stuff, and you get a bunch of stuff. And then you can pile this stuff up and look at it. And other people will look at you for all your great stuff. And they'll think so much of you because you got stuff. The fucking stuff that you got is not yours. You cannot take it with you when you're done with your bio shell. You know that. They don't even give you the inkling of a thought that would be true. You have death tax. So you know that when you pass away, if you want to give your $300,000 Corvette to your children, to one of your kids, your son, let's say, you cannot, because he won't be able to afford the fucking taxes, because the fucking death taxes are so high. The inheritance tax, the death tax, all this shit. So you will own nothing and you will be happy. That's not in the future something to come, some dystopia that they're going to try pushing us into, that we can tell the World Economic Forum, no. Bullshit. Our great ancestors already said yes. And we have come all these thousands of years later, and we're still saying yes. We will be good zombie slaves. We will send our children to your fucking education system so that they're just as dumbed down as we are. And we're going to continue doing it all this way. And we're going to right to our deaths. We're going to eat your fucking poison food. We're going to breathe your poison air. Even though we can see you dumping heavy metals and minerals all over our fucking heads every day, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to deny it. And when our families come to us and pointing at the sky and say, Mom, Dad, what about all these trails dumping shit all over us? You think maybe that's got something to do with the changes in the weather? You think maybe that's got something to do with the electrical system going to shit? You think that maybe that has something to do with a greater war, a weaponry that's being used way bigger than nuclear weaponry? Fuck the nukes, man. You guys live in an electrical system that you're denying. You're denying that you live in an electromagnetic nanocarbon system, and instead you think you're floating on a fucking spinning web pararocket ball, flying tens of thousands of miles of through outer space in this vast of infinity. It's all a lie, but yet you're all fucking going along with it. It's fucking amazing to me, man. It's fucking amazing. Then you got people that have good intent, but they don't realize that it's how bad things are. They have good intent because they're able to lie to themselves thoroughly enough to say, oh, well, the housing market's going to come back sooner or later. No, it's not. This is the end, man. This is the fucking end for everyone. We're going back to a system that we had thousands of years ago before imperialism. We're going back to a time when there were no borders. There was no United States and Canada and Mexico and Brazil. And there was no borders back then, thousands of years ago. And that's what they're bringing us back to now. All the imperialisms, all the castles, and all the king's men are all being torn down. They're not going to go anywhere. They're still going to be the leaders. We supposedly took that away from them thousands of years ago. We didn't want the kings. We said we don't want to be ruled by kings and families anymore. We didn't like the way that we were being ruled. That's what we tell ourselves all these thousands of years later. That was a lie. We went right along with it. They changed their fucking name. They moved out of one castle and into another one and changed your name and said, okay, you're free now. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Never went down that way, but yet we claim that it did. Yeah, we got imperialism. We got freedoms. Fuck you, you fucking liars. And then they give you a constitution that's why do you need a piece of paper to tell you that you have human rights? Why do you need a piece of paper that can be torn up later when they decide, oh, okay, so we're all done giving you your human rights? Well, wait a minute. What do you mean? You know what I mean? It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, we got a constitutional rights, communist constitution, or whatever. Pick one. They're all full of shit. They're all bullshit. We got a constitution that's written in fucking stone, written in blood, and our founding fathers and blah, blah, blah. It's so full of shit, man. So full of shit. None of that fucking shit matters. You knew that our country was in the United States. We knew that our country, not only us, but Canada and pretty much all the Americas, we were all going to be turning our powers over to China. We all knew this. China is going to be the leading world power again. And we all knew this for hundreds of years, and yet for at least 100 years, we've had presidents telling us this almost every year in their secret code, right? So when they give the all the business that America had went to China, right? They're the ones that are building the best cars now. They're the ones that are making the best metals now. They're the ones that are making the most money. They're building the most. They're on top. Their currency is valued higher than ours now. All this shit. So it's all coming to fruition, what we all already knew. China already owns most of our debt. Most of our debt is through China, borrowed money from them. So we already knew all this was going to go down this way, and everyone's still denying it. I'm a patriot, man. I'm a patriot. I don't fucking give up my rights for shit. Bullshit. Fucking give up your rights easy, man. Already did it. Already done. The court systems are a fuck show. The police and all law enforcement are a total fuck show. The bad guys, the murderers and the scum, they all walk fucking free, while our parents and our children are all being hauled off to fucking prisons for non-crimes. It's fucking ridiculous. and they get railroaded through the fucking system. They can't afford to get out of it. They got to spend the psychological damage. Spending 1 hour in a fucking prison is even 1 hour in the back of a car handcuffed is fucking bad enough, let alone 10 years, 20 years to find out after 20 years of sitting in a fucking jail that they were innocent. Oh, I got the evidence now that they were really innocent the whole time. Oh my fuck me, man. And this is happening over and over and over again. It's ridiculous. I don't even know where I'm going to post this fucking video now because now it's too long. It's like an hour and a half long or something like that. So I don't know. Should I make it longer? I got to end it. I would love to keep talking, but too much said already. I'll be back.